Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are on our last leg of the Woodland Animals series and we're going to be painting a cardinal. For materials, I'm using 140-pound watercolor paper 4x6 inch. For the sketching portion of our piece, we'll need a pencil of some kind, and along with that, a pencil sharpener and an eraser. For the watercolor portion today, I'll be using two round brushes, a number 4 and a number 6. And you can probably get by with just a number 6, but number 4 is nice to have for detailing. For colors, I'll be using a red, orange, and black. And then for outlining the cardinal today, I'll be using an artist brush pen in black. And as usual, you want water and paper towels. All right, let's get started. All right, to start this cardinal sketch, I'm going to place my pencil across the middle of my paper, and then I'm going to place my index finger down the center just below the pencil. And I'm gonna make a slight arch just above my index finger. Then I'm going to make a small wing that swoops upward on either side of the arc. Then I'm gonna make a circle on the underside of each wing, like that, and those will be the cardinal's eyes. Next, I'm gonna trace an arc right over my index finger. And then I'm going to draw kind of an upside down triangle off of that, so it looks like a wedge of pizza. Then I'm going to draw small L's on either side of that triangle that don't go past the tip of the triangle. And we have our cardinal's beak. To define the cardinal's face, I'm going to draw a line that starts just below the cardinal's eye and swoops down and inward just past the beak. And we'll do that on either side. For the bottom of the face, I'm going to draw a small U just below the beak, and then I'm going to have little wings that go out on either side and connect to the sides of the face. So there we go, we've got the central part of our cardinal's face. For the bottom of the head, I'm just going to draw a rounded L on one side and mirror that on the other side. And here I always like to check to make sure things are pretty symmetrical. Looks good. So for the neck, I'm going to draw a very short L on the left side and mirror that on the right side. Proportionally, it's best to keep those short. And for the body, I'll make a rounded off line just under the bottom of the neck that flows to the edge of the paper. For the wings, I'll make a vertical line that swoops inward on each side that starts just below the cardinal's neck and aligns with the edge of the cardinal's face. For the mohawk, I like to envision a triangle that extends up from the cardinal's eyes, and I'll make a narrow little triangle at the top where my fingers meet. I kind of think of the mohawk as a little flame on top of the cardinal's head. Once I have the tip established, I continue to draw the outline of this flamey mohawk by staggering slanted vertical lines all along the edge. And they don't have to be perfectly straight. So once I've got the outline established, then I'll go in and I'll make the other half of the triangle, basically, and kind of nest those together. And once that's done, we've got our complete cardinal outline. Now we can move on to the watercolor. So grab your number 6 round brush, and I'm going to start by loading that up with water and my red paint here. And I'm going to apply red paint over all the lines except the beak and the eyes. All right, the red outlining is done, so I'm going to load my brush with water and run it along those red lines to blend the color out into the surrounding white spaces. And I'm going to do this for all of the white spaces except for the eyes, the beak, and the face. Okay, the base layer for our cardinal is complete, so I'm going to let that dry, and while it's drying, we're going to move on to the beak. So I'm grabbing my number 4 round brush, and I'm going to take that orange-red color, and I'm going to paint the bottom of the beak. Once the bottom of the beak is filled in, I'm going to clean off my brush and I'm going to grab some of the orange color and I'm going to paint the top of the beak. I like doing a two-toned beak with a deep red orange on the bottom and a brighter orange on top because it gives shadow and highlight and some depth to the painting. And it appears that the base layer on the rest of the cardinal is dry, so we are going to take our number 4 round brush and do some color detailing. So I'm going to take that red-orange color and I'm going to start on the outer edges and make small slanted vertical strokes and work my way toward the middle of the bird. And I'm going to stop when I get to, the centermost strip because I'm going to do a different color there, but just kind of work around the edges and add those small slanted vertical lines. This will help us create like a feathery texture for our cardinal. And as I said before, I'm leaving the center strips both on the bottom and the top open because I'm going to switch over to that orange right now and I'm going to add more of that same texture, those small vertical lines. Once those are all filled in, then I'm going to switch back over to my number 6 round brush and we're going to blend. I'm going to load the number 6 round brush with water and I'll go section by section, making kind of longer diagonal strokes to blend the colors together. So there are a couple of things that'll happen while you're blending. The first one being that you'll start to notice a gradient being created because you'll have that very deep red on the outside, then the brighter red as you work toward the middle, and then the orange red in the very middle, which adds dimension to the painting. Secondly, you'll probably notice that as you're blending, while the dashes that we made in the beginning, they aren't as pronounced, they're still there, and it kind of creates this subtle feathery texture, which I think is perfect for a cardinal. Okay, the body and the beak are done. I'm gonna let this dry completely, then we'll finish with the face and the eyes. Okay, everything's dried completely, so I'm going to grab my number 4 round brush again and load it up with black. And this part is really straightforward. I'm just going to go ahead and put a solid layer of black in this face area, and then I'll do the same with the eyes. So I do have a couple of tips to help you get smooth, even coverage for your cardinal's face. And the first one I kind of mentioned before, it's to ensure that the surrounding area is dry before you start painting. So for example, if I hadn't let the red area around the face dry, as I am applying black paint, the black is going to run right into the red if the red is still even a little bit wet. So to keep the structure and to keep things from getting all messy and uneven, make sure the surrounding area is dry. The second tip that I have is to work in sections. So I don't know if you noticed, but I painted the one side of the cardinal's face first, and then I went on to the second. I just find it's a little easier to maintain even application of color if I work section by section. So those are my 2 tips. I hope that helps. And now I'm going to move on to the eyes, which are pretty straightforward as well. Just a nice solid layer of black. Okay, that concludes the watercolor portion of our painting. So I'm going to grab my artist's brush in black and I'm going to outline the outside of the cardinal. And I usually go over the outside outline a couple of times because I like a nice thick border around my cardinal. As with all of the animal portraits, I feel that it really makes it pop off of that white background. So I try to make that outer border pretty thick. And then from there, I'll go in and I'll trace over all of those other lines around the face and the beak and the neck and the shoulders. And as I'm finishing up this outline here, I just want to take a minute to say thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've been following along with this Woodland Animals series, let me know, drop a note in the comments which was your favorite animal to make and how did it go? I'd love to know. So yeah, leave me a comment or any feedback that you have. I always love to hear all your thoughts on the content that we create here. So I would really appreciate it. And whether you are a returning viewer or a new viewer to this channel, if you like the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It does a lot to support my channel. And if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I always love to have new people joining and growing this community. And with that, our adorable little cardinal is complete. Let's look at all of the woodland animals together now. Here they are. As a refresher, we've done the black bear, followed by the moose. Then there was our cute fluffy bunny. And of course, today's cardinal. As always, thank you so much for creating with me today. Until next time, take care.